Towson, Baltimore, and of course baseball back with the Birds home all week, taking on the Toronto Blue Jays, and then off to Boston for the weekend and for Patriots Day on Monday and the Boston Marathon with the morning game. But there is racing this weekend at Laurel, and they'll be racing the upcoming weekends. My wife is picking out her Derby hat. We're going to spend Derby Day down at Laurel on the 5th, and then of course we're going to be spending Preakness Day with the Derby winner, as well as with this guy out at Hi-ho, Pimlico. My longtime former intern, Stan Salter, who is not the track announcer, but he's the announcer on the TV at the track. We welcome him back in to discuss all things rainbows and triple crowns and Justify and Derby prep and getting ready for, the run for the roses and everything else and the black-eyed Susies. What's going on, Stan? Happy racing season to you, my friend.
Hey, Nestor, what's going on? Everything's cool. Yeah, lots going on. You had the big three Derby preps, or as we like to call them, Preakness preps for the Derby. The Kentucky Derby. That's the final Preakness prep. The first Saturday of May. But yeah, three big races this past weekend. But we have a real big story going on at Laurel Park with our racing. We have a 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 carryover that is now over 295,000, and that's a record in the state of Maryland.
Okay, so hang on a second here. Like, I don't understand the Rainbow 6 carryover. I understand what a Pick 6 is. I didn't know anything about this 20-cent. Educate me as a gambler who may or may not have been to Laurel lately as to exactly what this is, because I saw this headline. It's a lot of money, $300,000 sitting there for somebody to win, right?
Yeah, it sure is. It's the biggest ever for our Pick 6 carryover in Maryland. It's one of the biggest carryovers in the country. What it is, you have to have the winner of 6 consecutive races. It normally starts in race 4 on the 9-race programs, but sometimes we have 10 or 11 races. So it's always the last 6 races of the day, and it's a 20-cent bet. Now if you take one horse in each race, it only costs 20 cents. Now, it's too hard. It's too impossible to hit it that way. You can't just take one horse in every race. You have to try to take multiple horses. In most of the races, maybe one race you'll take like your best bet, your key horse, and center the bet around that horse, so you can take multiple horses in other races. But essentially, you have to have the winner of 6 consecutive races. It's a 20-cent wager, which allows you to get creative and use multiple horses in each race. So it's a fun bet. Big carryover starting on Friday, over 295,000, and they put. So the jackpot is if the whole pool of money is paid out if there's one single ticket that hits it. If there's multiple tickets that have 6 out of 6 winners, then only 60% of that pool is paid out that day. The other 40% is carried over. So that's why.
So if there's 10 winning tickets, I'm still leaving with 30G, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You're still leaving with a nice chunk of money, even if you're not getting the whole jackpot, yes.
Stan Salter can be found at Maryland Horse Radio, found anywhere racing is. He, his dad, his family. No one loves horse racing more than Stan, and no one more up on what's going on. In addition to the Rainbow 6 jackpot carryover for the 20-cent bet down at Laurel this weekend, we are getting ready for the entire series and season. Run me through the preps. Get me ready for first the Kentucky Derby, Stan, which will then, of course, get me ready for the Preakness.
Well, last Saturday you had 3 big ones. You had the Grade 2 Wood Memorial up at Aqueduct. Todd Fletcher won that race with a horse by the name of Vino Rosso. I hope I'm saying the horse's name right. Vino Rosso won the Wood Memorial for Fletcher, so that gives Fletcher yet another Kentucky Derby hopeful, because he also won last week or 2 weekends ago. He won the Florida Derby with Audible. And he also won the Louisiana Derby with a horse I forget his name, something Indy, and he won a race at Arkansas. So Fletcher with 3 or 4 top Derby contenders: Audible, Vino Rosso, and a couple more. So Todd Fletcher's loaded. Bob Baffert, he's loaded as well. Bob Baffert has the favorite with a horse by the name of Justify that won the Santa Anita Derby this past Saturday. Justify is undefeated. In all 3 starts, he's earned high buyer speed figures of 100 plus. So Justify, your Santa Anita Derby winner for the Hall of Famer Bob Baffert. That's your early Kentucky Derby favorite. And then also you had the Bluegrass last Saturday that was won by Good Magic for Chad Brown. Chad Brown won the Preakness last year with Cloud Computing. And Good Magic was your Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner last year. He was your champion juvenile of last year. So he's back in good form now after winning the Bluegrass. So you had 3 high-profile horses win this past Saturday for high-profile operations. Pletcher, Baffert, and Chad Brown. Those are the top 3 trainers in the game, and they're all locked and loaded for the first Saturday in May.
Well, it really does sort of, now sort of set the card over the next 2.5 or 3 weeks. Of course, we're going to have hockey being played between now and then, baseball played. You're going to run down at Laurel, but all of their eyes over the next 3 weeks, the week after the draft, will be for Derby, and we will have all the big guns. I've been hearing about Baffert's horse now for several months. I mean, going back even to almost Super Bowl time with, some friends of mine, Dick Girardi up in Philadelphia, had mentioned Justify. I know you and I talked about it about a month ago when I had you on the program as well. That horse lightly raced, though, right? That's going to make it an interesting pick on Derby Saturday, right?
Yes, yeah. I believe he's only run 3 times, and I'm not sure he ran last year as a 2-year-old, which would there's been no Kentucky Derby winner that didn't run at 2. And I'm pretty sure. I have to double check his TPs, but I'm pretty sure he didn't run at 2. He's lightly raced. He's only run 3 times. The Santa Anita Derby this past weekend, that was his stakes debut. Before that, he'd only run in a maiden special weight and an allowance race. So yeah, he's very lightly raced, but man, it looks like he's got a bunch of talent. And he beat a nice field. He beat Bolta Oro, who's one of your Kentucky Derby favorites. That horse was second in the Santa Anita Derby. He's going to the Kentucky Derby as well. So yeah, Justify looks like the real deal. And
we'll get Mike Smith, on that horse. I mean, you look at the names that are riding these horses; it's all the usual suspects, right? I mean, literally, we'll have all the big jockeys, all the big. Velasquez was riding Vino Rosso, right? So, this will be a usual party down there in Churchill Downs in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Pletcher and Velasquez, they won the Kentucky Derby last year with Always Dreaming. And they're going to have one of the favorites this year with the Wood winner, Vino Rosso. And then, of course, Baffert, always good to have him on the big stage. And Chad Brown, an up-and-coming trainer. Chad Brown's been the champion trainer. He's won the Eclipse Award for best trainer the last 2 years. He came up under Bobby Frankel, and he's been nothing but he's done nothing but win grade ones. He had the upset winner last year with Cloud Computing in the Preakness. So, yeah, the big 3 outfits had a big weekend this past weekend. Now, coming up Saturday, April 21st at Laurel Park, we have a big weekend. Call it our Preakness Prep Day. April 21st, we have 5 stake races. We have the Federico Tessio, which is shaping up to be a real nice race for top 3-year-olds. The winner of that race gets a free ride and an automatic entry into the Preakness. We have a good local Maryland-bred horse by the name of VIP Code, who won the private term stakes, and he's going to be one of the favorites in the Tessio. He's stabled at Laurel Park for trainer Phil Schoenthal. He's going to have his final workout this Friday or Saturday in preparation for the Tessio. So keep your eye on the horse, a Maryland-bred horse by the name of VIP Code. Him and a couple other local hopefuls are going to be aiming towards the Tessio. And then the winner of the Tessio goes to the Preakness. So it'd be really cool if we have a local Maryland bred going to the Preakness. So that could be a big developing story. Saturday, April 21st, we'll find out. We have the Tessio, the Weber City Miss. Also, the winner of the Weber City Miss goes to the Black Eyed Susan. And then you have the Henry S. Clark stake. That's a prep race for the Grade 2 Dixie on Preakness Day. And, so Saturday, April 21st is going to be a huge day out there at Laurel Park. We're giving away a free Laurel Park travel tumbler, and also they're debuting the 2018 batch of the Pimlico Pilsner made by Jailbreak Brewing Company down there in Laurel. So we're going to have a good beer, good racing, and you get a travel tumbler. April 21st.
Hey, when do we move to Pimlico from Laurel? Give me a little. Give me the word on that, because Derby Day you race at Laurel, correct?
Yeah, we're at Laurel Derby Day, and then I believe we run the Sunday after Kentucky Derby, and that's closing day at Laurel for the spring meet. Then we go to Pimlico. Now, if this big carryover in the Rainbow Pick Six continues to go and get bigger and bigger, we'll have what's called a mandatory payout the last day of the meet, which would be that Sunday after Kentucky Derby.
Wow, the 6th. Okay.
At Laurel Park, it would be over $1 million. And a mandatory payout means it all gets paid out that day. It's a big event in racing. Gulfstream Park's had a couple mandatory payout days this past winter in their championship meet. Both times it got up around $20 million. It won't get that big at Laurel, but it would be up over $1 million. So stay tuned for that. That could be a big story. Closing day of the spring meet at Laurel Park.
Stan Salter, our guest. He's joining us from Laurel, our partner down at the Maryland Jockey Club. The Maryland Jockey Club entries, whether it's Laurel now, Pimlico next month as we get up on the Black Eyed Susie and the Pink Day, all at the front page of WNST.net, as well as in our morning newspaper. All of our WNST coverage brought to you by our friends at Howard Bank, a relentless commitment to being the best at everything they do. Branches throughout Baltimore and Maryland. Also brought to you by Royal Farms. Real fresh, real fast, the tasty coffee, the best fried chicken in the land. Make sure you're downloading that Rofo app and you use that. You're going to get some points toward Western fries and fried chicken and free coffee and all that good stuff when you gas up as well. Al's Seafood in Essex, been doing crabs and crab cakes. I've been getting them there since the early 1970s. We lost Al a couple of months ago, but Chad the Crab Man, his son is there running its second generation and making it work down there at Essex at Stemmers and Eastern. Stop by, whether it's shrimp, whether it's fish, whether it's packaged goods, sit down, have a bowl of soup, watch a ball game, do what you need to do. Al's Seafood in Essex, proudly our sponsor. We had a bunch of our holiday events down there at Al's Seafood as well. Stan Salter, our guest from Laurel and the Maryland Jockey Club, as we get ready. And I know for a lot of folks, it is about the Preakness. It is about the music. It is about the Infield Fest. And I know you guys have big announcements ahead for that, and announcing about a week and a half ago about the Odessa and the full artist lineup you guys put out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, the bands are out. Post Malone, 21 Savage,
Odessa?
Odessa, Frank Walker, and Vice. They're going to be on the big mega stage. In the past, it's been 2 stages. This year, for the new and improved Budweiser Infield Fest, it's the 10-year anniversary, and they say it's going to be better than ever. They're going to have one big mega stage that has a nice view of the track. They're going to have a better layout. And it sounds like so some good bands. I didn't know the band that well, but I know them a little bit better now. I know the big big songs for Post Malone, Rockstar. He's got. You like those bands, Nestor?
Well, I liked ZZ Top and Buck Cherry better 10 years ago, and Train. My wife and I got big. But it has been a tradition at the Preakness, maybe more so on a music side, for people to say who is Wiz Khalifa and what is this Maroon 5 and who is this Pitbull and this Macklemore and this Lordy and all these other names, the Chainsmokers. Nobody had heard of them either, right? And it's been a birthing place for all of these bands, including Bruno Mars, right? Literally.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, exactly. A lot of these bands over the past 10 years I hadn't heard of, but then they come play at Preakness, and then the next thing you know, they're winning Emmys, and you hear
Grammys. They win Grammys. That's okay.
They're winning Grammys, and you hear them all the time on the radio. So we're looking forward to some up-and-coming big bands. Our 10-year anniversary tickets on sale now. You can go to the new and improved website as well, Preakness.com, for all your tickets and information. 10-year anniversary for the Budweiser Infield Fest. The beers will be flowing. The women will be beautiful. and hopefully Post Malone, 21 Savage, Odessa. Who's your favorite band of that lineup, Nestor?
Well, I mean, I was a ZZ Top guy because Stacy Keibler came out, and did the legs thing that day. My wife has always loved Bruno Mars, still loves Bruno Mars, so I had a great time with that one. Train, my wife and I had our camera. We were wearing pink that day for that derby. We were a day late on that one, and we actually have a video of Patrick Monahan singing "Marry Me" to me and my wife with him holding our video camera. So I've got some great Preakness memories out there with a lot of these bands, and of course a couple of these years my wife was ill and we couldn't make it to the Preakness, but she's already got a hat, she's got a dress picked out, we've already committed, we're going to be with you on Derby Day at Laurel, we're going to celebrate with you. Caps might be playing a game after that, quite frankly, so we may have a little Caps post game going on as well, but we're into racing season. I'm all fired up, Stan. I'm ready for this, man.
All right, beautiful. Yeah, hope to. We're looking forward to seeing you down there, Laurel Park. Kentucky Derby Day, always a big day at Laurel Park. We'll have a big crowd out there. But Saturday, April 21st, Tessio Day. Looking forward to that. VIP code, Maryland bred horse. Keep your eye on that horse. I think you'll be hearing more about that horse. VIP code. Also, another local horse still having fun. He might be in there. Dynamic Asset might be in there. Some good local horses at Laurel Park aiming towards the Tessio. And the winner of the Tessio goes towards the Preakness. So, I like rooting on the local horses, Nestor.
Tell our audience here, for anybody that hasn't been to the track in a long time, give me one great reason, one thing they'll come to the track and they'll love doing if they come down and go to the Tessio on the 21st.
Well, you can either get a nice a table in the Garden Terrace or Tips. Those are two new restaurant venues we have at Laurel Park, or the new sports bar up on the second floor of the clubhouse. The sports bar is awesome. We have some nice luxury boxes overlooking the track. That's all new there at Laurel Park. So my best bet, I would say, either hang out at the new sports bar, second floor of the clubhouse, or get yourself a window, a trackside table, right, with a nice window in the new restaurant called Tips.
All right, well, that's what I'm going to do with my wife on Derby Day. You already made the decision. She's got the dress. I've got the suit. We're just all we need is the weather, and we need your company on Derby Day. So, and Bob Baffert as well. I'm a Baffert guy. You know that, Stan. So I'm going to be all about Justify on that day for sure.
All right, good stuff. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Tell Jen I said hi.
Got it. Stan Salter, my former intern. We've been knowing each other for about 2 decades now. He's not the track announcer. He's the announcer from the Tessio straight on through the Black-Eyed Susie, Pink, and Preakness Saturday, which is held on the 19th of May. The Orioles will be in Boston for their second turn in Boston. They're going to be in Boston all weekend long as well. Full coverage from Camden Yards all week long here with our Luke Jones on the scene as they entertain the Blue Jays. We're getting ready for the NFL schedule, getting ready for the NFL draft, getting ready for the Capitals. We're going to be having a viewing party for the Caps for Games 3 and 4 next week. I'll be getting you some more information on that later on in the week here at WNST.net. I am Nestor. I am on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. Don't forget the Model Lyric, our WNST partner, the Wild Kratts PBS Kids series coming to life here. Full animation in real life at the Model Lyric, the 4:30 show on Sunday. Tickets still available for your kids. Bring them down to see the Wild Kratts and the live PBS show. Some great educational stuff going on there at the Model Lyric this Sunday, as well as Britt Floyd on the 26th, Jackson Brown on May 3rd. We'll be telling you more about Kansas and Steely Dan and all of the events at the Model Lyric as they are our new partner. As are the Baltimore Brigade on Friday night. The Washington Valor come to the Royal Farms Arena. It is the kickoff game of the second season of the Arena Football League here in Baltimore. Get on down, support the Brigade Friday night against the Washington Valor, and I'm wearing the hat on our Facebook and our YouTube video. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.